Hello, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Veston, and this is my top 5 Fighting Foodons episodes list. It's still going to be a while until my last Pokemon countdown, so until then, I'm going to look at Fighting Foodons, another anime that 4Kids Entertainment had an excellent job at dubbing. Starring Terra Sands as the main hero of the show Chase, he and his friends Python, Albert, Oslo, Coco, and his sister Kayla go off on an epic and fun journey to bring peace to the world by fighting the Glutton Empire. Some people call it a Pokemon knockoff, but I call it a good Pokemon knockoff. I advise any of you watching out there to bring out your favorite foods you wish to eat while watching this countdown, because you're in for a delicious quintet of episodes. Alright, let's dig in. Number 5 is Rice to Meet You. Surprisingly enough, we're starting this list off with the very first episode in the series. We begin with Chef Jag locked in a prison of some kind, while a cat named Claudia, voiced by Veronica Taylor, is about ready to summon her latest creation. But Chef Jack's children, Chase and Kayla, bust in and release Jack from jail. He tries to fight off Claudia, but he gets cornered. And by sheer accident, Claudia unleashes her monstrous food creation, Beef Steak, who goes on a brutal rampage in Gorgetown. Oslo escapes from slavery and finds Chase. And after he saved him from a near-death experience, Oslo offers Chase a meal ticket to become a better cook after a failure making talking burnt meatballs. What ends up being is a dish served as fried ricer. And with much power and courage, he puts an end to Beefsteak's terror, turning it back into a card. Claudia vows revenge, Chef Jack goes back on a mission to fight the Gluttons, and Chase and the gang start their journey. This episode earns the slot for being a perfect introduction to the show, but it falls short compared to the other amazing episodes I have next, especially when the second episode marks the debut of Casey Rogers' star Python. If you need to prepare yourself for all the food fights that will go on, the first episode is obviously the best choice. Number 4 goes to A Salt and Pepper. After winning a noodle competition in the previous episode, Rose Marinade, voiced by Nurse Joy herself, Megan Hollingshed, vows vengeance on Chase in battle. When Fruit Turtle starts to lose against Cassidy's cousin, Chef John, who was revealed that he was actually Chef Jack in disguise, decides that he and the other rebels must find a way to get Fruit Turtle to fight back. And since Chase is asleep, they have to go off and find something strange, something new, something so powerful. A purple pepper, the one that could bring Rose to her knees. But there's a catch. If used on Fruit Turtle, her life will be sacrificed. Chase had no alternative but to use the Foodon power to get Fruit Turtle to finish Rose off. But not only did it cost Fruit Turtle's life, but it also cost Rose Marinade to turn herself back into a two-tailed fox. A piece of karma that will come for Claudia later in the show's end. Chase spends the following episode in grief over Fruit Turtle's death in the episode that followed, Licensed to Grill, but he has slowly come to his senses that he must never give up and keep going. This one has a lot of action and a lot of surprises, like revealing Chef John was actually Chef Jack, a topic that could lose a Foodon creature, as well as a low point in Chase's journey. Thankfully, he snapped out of it in the next episode, like I already mentioned. Number 3 is a fun one for me, and that's You Want a Pizza Me? In this episode, Claudia finds a mysterious mansion in the spooky forest. When she sees a slice of pizza and a piece of toast mourning over the deceased chef, she finds something peculiar about a portrait above them. Claudia notices that Princess Cupcake in the portrait looks an awful lot like Chase's brother Kayla. So, she devises a plan to trick those two into kidnapping her for ransom so they can bring the spirit of Master Flambe back from the grave. But Chase and the others decide to fight back. Luckily, Kayla's pet named Omelette frees Kayla from the trap, and the ghost of Master Flambe appears to appraise Kayla. He welcomes her and invites her to try the pizza he made just for Cupcake. Despite Oslo's objections, Kayla loves the pizza, even gets Chase and the others to try it out as a chance. And he departs happily to the afterlife. This episode is not only a good tribute to pizza, but it also goes to prove that not all ghosts are scary. Sometimes they need help or love. And luckily for the spirit of Master Flambe, Kayla was the chosen one, even if Claudia did try to do this to trick Chase and the others. Number 2 is A Whole Lot at Stake. Chase and his culinary crew journey to the royal castle, where they uncover a nefarious plan by the evil King Gorge to conquer the world from outer space. They must put a stop to it, but first, they must battle Claudia one last time. This time with her Foodon named the Steak King. Look at that design, doesn't he look cool? Of course, I won't go into too much detail about the story, but I will talk about the ending. Claudia tells King Gorge about her defeat, which results in that slimeball nearly zapping her life out of that poor girl. She may have been a villain, but you do feel sorry for her. Even Chase stands up to the king and tells him what he's doing to her is unfair. When King Gorge retreats, Chase needs to revive Claudia. So he serves up some fried rice and feeds it to her. And like magic, it turned her back into a human with no memories whatsoever about her transformation. And we learn that her real name is Dia. Now here's something I gotta say before we get to number 1. Dia's voice, like I said before, was provided by 4Kids veteran Veronica Taylor, who at the time was best known for voicing Ash in Pokemon. When Veronica voiced Claudia, she used a voice similar to Ash's mom, Delia's. But when she reverted back to human form, Veronica used her Amelia and May voice on her, giving this a true indication that Dia was no adult who was changed into a cat. She was a kid who got transformed into a cat after being kidnapped by King Gorge. Hope that's cleared things up. And now, this should be no surprise to anyone, but I am giving the #1 spot to Attack of the Burger Brigade. In this episode, Chase and his friends encounter a nearly abandoned town called Glabburger. They get the lowdown from one of the town's kids, Scraps, voiced by Amy Birnbaum. The parents of this town have been taken captive by Rose Marinade. Not because they wanted to, no, she was making them make statues of King Gorge as their slaves, and whenever they did come home, they were too tired to cook or play with the children. It was miserable, especially on Scraps. But Chase cared about Glabburger's dilemma, so the gang decides to bring out their Foodons and stir up a party known as the Foodon Fresh Festival. With a catchy song, burgers made from pie tin and hot dog on it, and a corral of kids enjoying it, it seems like Chase and the others have helped the kids find a bright side, even when things were run during that period. But what they didn't know was that Claudia was spying on them. She tells Rose that she summons her Power Rangers-like burgers after them, known as the Burger Brigade. After a fine lecture on King Gorge's food being better, the children are forced to chant that Gorge is great. Otherwise, they might get into trouble. Anyways, after Claudia gets caught by being Tattletale and the Gluttons kidnap Kayla, Python, and Oslo, Chase has to fight off these brainwashed rangers and restore balance. With help from Coco and Chef Jack, that is. Of course, in the end, they won the battle. But the trouble is that the Gluttons have taken Chase's friends, so he has to go out and find them, bidding his new friends farewell as he resumes his journey. The good news is that the Burger Brigade is back to fighting crime, and the parents are out of slavery. But as for Chase, can he find his friends and set things straight? Well, you'll just have to use your noodle. No, I'm not kidding. That's the title of the episode. He did eventually find them in that next episode. Now then, I hope you enjoyed this delicious meal of edible episodes for your enjoyment. If so, please let me know in the comments if you remember finding Foodons and enjoyed it. And if not, don't worry. Links are provided in the description of those episodes. But anyways, this is Veston saying thank you for watching, and bon appetit.